I'm really excited to be sort of hosting the next discussion. It's called Upping the Game, and it's all about the new gaming and esports offering that we announced this week via a press release. So hopefully people have sort of seen some of it. I'll be joined by 3 guests. So we'll be looking at why we're doing it, the background, and the actual offering itself. So I will be talking to Steve Connolly, the IBC sales director. I'll also be joined by Liam Dean, who's a principal analyst at Omdia Gaming Technology. And finally, Stephen Lumnians, who is the CEO at Unlocked, and who will be sort of delivering the eSport Tech Zone. So shall we crack on?
I think they're ready. So John, we'll let John wipe them in, and the floor is yours, Jay.
Yeah.
Great. Hi everyone, welcome. Thank you for joining me on this panel.
Hey guys.
Hi.
I've just done a quick brief introduction, so I will crack straight on with some of the questions. I wanted to start with Steve from IBC actually, and just talk about I suppose the IBC audiences and how they've sort of evolved and changed and adapted over the years.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, IBC is always looking to reflect the shifting dynamics within the market. It simply has to remain relevant for its exhibitors. So as such, we've had strong success over the years, ensuring that not only the traditional audiences attend, but also the audiences from tangential markets by actively targeting kind of features and content that's relevant to them. So if we take the examples of the telco sector and cybersecurity in recent years, if we're doing the exec forums. It's very important that we're always looking to not only consolidate on our traditional audience, but making sure that IBC is relevant and attracting audiences that our exhibitors primarily are looking to attract and do business and develop relationships with. So gaming and esports, clear markets with strong crossover and convergence with the traditional M&A market, and as such, it was a natural target for IBC when we initially launched the IBC Esports Showcase back in 2019. So we're delighted to be able to bring back a whole series of kind of gaming and esports initiatives for 2023.
Brilliant, thanks, Steve. And is there anything else you want to add on sort of what roles do you think sort of gaming and esports sort of play in the sort of media and entertainment landscape?
Yeah, I think they're playing increasingly significant role. Gaming and esports competes very heavily for consumers' content consumption, especially in kind of some of those key demographics. If you look at some examples of some hugely successful TV series in recent years, such as The Last of Us and the Halo franchise, all being developed from gaming franchises. Plus, we're seeing an increasing use of traditional gaming production techniques in mainstream TV. And from an esports point of view, the viewing figures for major esports tournaments are astronomical, which makes it really appealing to advertisers, for example. And the production services to create and distribute that content have lots of crossover with the traditional coverage of traditional sports, for example. So the convergence is everywhere, really, across gaming and esports.
Great, thanks, Steve. And that's sort of a good point, a good note, actually, to hop over to Liam. Liam's the Omdia sort of analyst. So from your perspective, can you talk a little bit more, give us an overview of the current gaming market?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really dynamic market, a really big market. We've got the market value of the games industry now more than $200 billion a year. So we're talking really a very big chunk of the total M&E landscape is made up of gaming. But we have a lot of change going on within the games market as well. Steve has touched on some of the ways that's converging with other markets. It's a market that's always in flux in its own right as well. So, for instance, we're looking now at things like the rise of mobile gaming, which is now bigger than traditional PC and console gaming combined. We're seeing changes in how games are made and monetized. So there's a big shift away from the traditional model where you just put out a game as an upfront purchase, moving more towards a kind of live service model where a game lives on, is updated over time. And we have things like the emergence of cloud gaming. So you can now stream games from the cloud, Netflix style, essentially. So there's big questions about how that's going to affect the market, and interesting questions about, say, what can be learned from that transition that's already happened in the video and entertainment market. So kind of how did that work? How did that not work? Is it going to play out in a similar way in games, or are we going to see different dynamics? So I think there's a huge amount there that's really interesting and exciting to keep track of, both for people in the games industry and in the kind of adjacent parts of the media and entertainment space as well.
Thanks, Liam. And could you touch a little bit more on some of the biggest trends you're actually seeing in this space?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's really so much to cover. I mean, I think there's I've touched on a lot of them there already. I think some other ones that are really interesting as well that we're going to be talking about at IBC is the rise of gaming IP in other media. So we used to see a lot of games adaptations of IP from other media, but now we're increasingly seeing it the other way around. So games being adapted into film and TV. So that's a really interesting one that we'll be keeping a close eye on. Another one is crossovers in advertising. So in-game advertising is a huge market as well. And that's kind of course, all of the different sorts of digital advertising are starting to converge now. So I think that's something that is a big one to keep an eye on, both from the perspective of brands, but also companies in the ad tech space, publishers. So that's something that we're going to be focusing in on too.
Great. Thank you very much, Liam. I'm, for one, really excited about the new esports zone that will be in Hall 8 this year. And I'd like to bring Stephen from Unlocked into the discussion. Stephen, could you tell us what we can expect on the esports zone and what you're most excited about?
We'll be working with a couple of really cool partners from IBC, from the industry, like in NEP and Black Magic, to produce a showcase where we'll be able to demonstrate how content is produced in gaming and esports from the very early stages, from live streaming at home up until the arena events. And I think what I'm most excited about is seeing the conversations flow on the differences and the similarities between that content creation, because we see a lot of big numbers in esports and in gaming on the bigger productions and the filled out arenas with 30,000 screaming fans. But it's also very much the case that somebody sitting at home broadcasting on Twitch or YouTube can reach similar audiences and have millions of fans. And there's a lot of differences and similarities in between, going from one end of the spectrum to the other. And that's what we'll be showcasing at the event, so people can explore technology and different aspects of both the large scale productions and the at-home setups. And fun aspect as well is we'll be inviting visitors to participate themselves. We'll be bringing in professional teams and professional players. There's plenty of opportunity to see them worldwide competing at all these events. So we'll be bringing in the visitors themselves to be part of the experiences, to be part of the esports zone themselves.
Great, thank you. That sounds absolutely fantastic, and I'm really looking forward to seeing that in a couple of weeks' time. So just going back to Liam, so another sort of strand of the focus on gaming and esport is a full day of content on the Showcase Theatre on the Monday. Could you tell us a little bit about what people can expect on that programme and who they can hear from?
Yeah, that's something we're really excited about. So Omdia has, for a number of years, had a really strong partnership with IBC, where we've been able to engage with the IBC audiences and kind of bring some of the unique data and insights that we have on what's happening in the media and entertainment market. And I'm really looking forward to doing that in the gaming and esports showcase event on the Monday of IBC. So I myself will be doing a really interesting panel on in-game advertising. So I'm going to have with me Funds Jacobs from Media Monks, which is a media agency that's been doing a lot of really exciting work in gaming and esports, along with Perla Bloom from EA, Melinda Spence from Activision Blizzard. So really big names in the gaming space and what they are, their strategies around advertising in games, and so I think that that's going to be a really interesting panel. Also, we're going to have my colleague Maria Rua Guete talking about some of the work that Omdia has been doing, looking at the gaming IP crossover space. So, looking at these big hits that we've seen the last year, the Mario movie, the Last of Us TV series, why did they succeed? What makes a successful crossover? What other gaming IP should we be looking at as the potential hits for the future? So I think that's another great session that people should be looking out for on Monday. Great.
Thanks for that. And for anyone can go to the show website and check out the content agenda for the full programme of content for gaming, as well as obviously the wider event. So finally, I'll just go back to Steve. We are also going to be running some esports tours, I believe, this year. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, who's involved, and what visitors can expect if they join a tour?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, really pleased about this. So it's the kind of the third strand, if you like, on our gaming and esports. So we have the esports zone, working with Steve and his team from Unlocked. We've got all the content on the showcase theatre, as you say. But yeah, the tours, it's the first time we brought those back for a few years now, and they'll be focused exclusively on esports and those companies offering services and production services for anyone in the esports value chain, if you like. So they'll take place on Saturday and the Sunday at the show, and they'll start and finish at the esports zone, and approximately 2 hours. We've got about 20 companies signed up so far as stops on those tours, so vendors, technology providers who play a part in the esports value chain. And they'll start, as I said, they'll start at 11:30 each day, take a couple of hours, and they'll take attendees on a curated journey throughout the 13 halls of IBC. Some of the companies we've got signed up so far, EVS, Glass Valley, we've got Tinkerlist, Pixatope, Vivaro, Clearcom, and Gravity, amongst others. So yeah, really pleased to get those off the ground, and shortly attendees will be able to register as an attendee to those tours. So at the moment we're just finishing off who the stops and the tours will be, and in what order those tours will take place. And yeah, hopefully early next week attendees will be able to sign up for a place on the tour themselves.
Great. Thanks, Steve. In fact, thank you, all three of you. That was a fantastic discussion. Just as a very quick recap then, we've got an esports zone in Hall 8. We've got a programme of content on the Monday in the Showcase Theatre, and then we've got esports tours. So thanks, everyone. See you all at IBC. For all the information on gaming and esports is on the show website as well.